Hi, my name is Shanna Schwartz, and I work at the Teachers College Reading and Writing Project. Typically, we at the Teachers College Reading and Writing Project spend our time supporting teachers and students in the work that they do in the classroom. But tonight I want to come to you and give you, some parents, some ideas about some things you can do to help. We've been getting lots and lots of questions about how we can make learning from home even more successful. And might there be any silver linings to this moment? And I want to tell you that yes, you can do some things to help your kids out, and there is a silver lining. That silver lining is that right now your child is really developing a lot of executive functioning skills. So let me tell you a little bit about executive functioning skills. But before I do, let's play a game, Scavenger Hunt. I want you to go grab 3 things: something you wear, a tool you use, and something you take outside with you. Press pause and go get them. You back? All right, so I grabbed 3 myself. Something I wear, lipstick. A tool I use, paper clips. Something I take outside with me, my phone. Some of you might have been clever enough to realize that you could just pick one thing that does all 3. My headphones are a tool I use, I wear them, and I take them outside. This is the kind of thinking that we need to do when we use our executive functioning skills. Let's talk about what those skills are, and then I'll explain some more. When we talk about executive functioning, we're talking about self-regulation skills that rely on 3 kinds of brain functions: working memory, mental flexibility, and self-control. When you went to go get those tools that I asked you to grab in the scavenger hunt, you had to use all 3 of these kinds of brain functions. You needed to use working memory because you had to remember what it was that you were going to get. Working memory is the kind of memory that you use when you're holding something in your mind while you're doing a task. It's not long-term memory, but it's the memory at play when you think to yourself, I need to do this, and I need this, and I need this, and then you get them without having to stop and write it down. Mental flexibility is what you did when you ran to go get something and you realized you couldn't find the thing you needed, and so you had to get something else. Or if you were one of those people who figured out, oh, I can get just one thing that has all 3 functions, that's mental flexibility. You're thinking outside the box. And then self-control. Every single time we get up to go get something, there's tons of distractions in the world, and those distractions can make it so that we can't do the thing that we need to do. You need some self-control to keep yourself on track. Your child is using all 3 of these skills all the time now when she or he or they are working at home. So how can we help our children with these skills? Well, first and foremost, let's just think about how this gets in the way for our children on a daily basis. For most of us, what's happening when we work at school is that we're working on a tablet or a computer screen. Think about how many times when we're on a computer screen, we get that feeling of screen creep, right? Where you go on to do one thing, oh, I'm going to turn on my Google Classroom, but then there's a pop-up or an alert from a friend. Somebody writes a text message, or your child gets a little come play this game pop-up, right? In all of those cases, your child has to hold on to what they were meaning to do, have some self-control not to be pulled away, and make sure that they're mentally flexible enough that when they were expecting to see one thing, they can navigate away and find another. These are all the kinds of skills that your child is using if you're letting your child do these things on their own. You want to make sure that you're helping. Clearly, help is great, but also that you're standing back and letting your child navigate on their own. What are some other ways that you can help your child with executive functioning? I've got a few tips. Number 1, have a morning meeting to plan out the day. This will help your child every morning to think about what's coming up and to start to organize their mind around the things that they'll need. I find it really helpful to have my kids put together a backpack, just like they would on a normal school day when they were going to the school building, except inside that backpack are all the things they need for the whole day. At the beginning of the day when you're doing your morning meeting, you could even look through and check, do you have everything you need for reading today? Do you have everything you need for math, for science, for social studies? You might also do a little check during that morning meeting if your child has all of the right tabs up or all of the right apps ready to go on the first screen of their tablet. That'll help them to make a plan for their day. Number 2, teach your child how to use a timer. Teachers are telling your kids all the time right now, read for 20 minutes, this math should take about 15 minutes. Teach your child how to find the timer on their computer or the timer on a phone and set it so that they know exactly how long everything will take. You can also teach your child how to use an alarm. I've found this to be so much help in my household. When my kids know that they need to get online at a certain time and then work independently at other times. Having an alarm saying, ooh, it's 10:30, get on for your English class is really, really great. In my house, we actually set 2 alarms, one 5 minutes before and one at the moment you're meant to be on. That way they have a little lead time to get themselves all set up. Number 4. This is one I really love. Start to notice with your child how long things take. Some of the time, when children have difficulty with self-control, it's because time seems to be endless and they're not sure that they'll be able to keep themselves on track for long enough. If you set a little timer or even just notice, wow, it took you 3 minutes to clear your plate or 4 minutes to eat your cereal. I hope it takes them a little longer than that. They'll start to get a sense of how long things take and realize that they can stay focused for that amount of time without difficulty. After completing a task, discuss how it went. Sometimes this can be helpful for your child when they get stuck doing things. You can talk about what got them stuck and then what got them unstuck. Usually, one of our 3 main brain functionings will be at play. Maybe they got stuck because their working memory failed. They forgot what they were doing right in the middle. Maybe they got stuck because they weren't able to think outside the box and be a little bit flexible. They became too rigid. Or maybe they got stuck because they got distracted. Their self-regulation was off. If you can talk about these, if you can name them, then you can help your child to have more success the next time. And then, of course, let's name the successes too. Anytime an executive functioning skill is at play, you want to let your kid know, wow, look at you being flexible. You couldn't find your red shoes and you put on your blue ones instead. Wow, that was really great. I hope these tips will help you working with your kids at home and making your lives a little calmer and better. Thanks so much. Have a great night.